Hey guys, this is Nathan Minn, your host of Beards and Bows Outdoors. Today I just wanted to go over my Vibe Seaghost 130. This is a do-it-yourself trolling motor mod that I added to this kayak. I will be explaining what I did, how I did it, and the thought process behind it. Products that I used, you can find the affiliate links down below in the description. Stick around, let's get to it. I'm going to start with the bracket back here. This bracket I had a metal strip laying around. This is about 1 inch wide. I bent it to shape using a vise and hammer, drilled holes right underneath here. So it's got a hole right there, a hole right here. It's got a bend that goes this way, comes up, goes out, it terminates right here. My goal was to not drill very many holes. They have screw thread inserts. I was able to reuse this, and it's still strong enough I could pick the entire kayak up still by this handle. On the back of this kayak, there's a bolt that goes all the way through, and that runs through these two sections right here. So the bolt goes from there all the way down. It's got threaded lock nuts. I took 2 more bolts that run through this entire stack right here, from here all the way to here. So that compresses that down. What this does is it gives me a sturdy place to mount my trolling motor. Now I wanted this trolling motor to be removable. That way all I have to do is unscrew it right here, unhook these carabiners for your steering system. You'll take this off for your depth. I haven't done it yet, but I need to put a trolling motor plug right here. That way I can unhook this electrical wire and take this entire unit off. In my case, I had a couple old trolling motors that went bad. So I took this collar off another one. What I did was I took this eyelet bolt, ran it through here, and tighten these down with lock nuts. This is your steering arms. Now I will leave a link down in the description. They make a unit that's like this, that's made out of this material. This is just what I had on hand. Some of this stuff I'll change, like this wing back here, maybe not. Now as for your trolling motor lock that locks into these, I threw a zip tie on it, and if I have any issues, I'll probably just remove it. This, for right now, to keep this from going up over there or getting caught underneath here, I just took some copper wire and this little piece of plastic trim I had laying around, and that will kind of keep that in there. I'm going to look about doing like a bigger eyelet, see if they have a bent one or bend one. That way an eyelet can bolt into here, and then it can just stay right in there. But it's working good so far. Now this head, this is just an electrical conduit fitting. Here's your elbow. This is a screw-on fitting. I had to sand this down a little bit, sand the inside of there to get that to fully seat in there. This is not electrical tape. This is the watertight tape that adheres to itself. I put an eyelet bolt through here for this, and this goes down to the handle. Put a little pulley I had laying around attached to there. So it goes down, your line comes over. Now this is the pre-existing line that was used to lift the rudder out of the water. I reused it. I didn't go back through this hole because I wanted that to go straight on to my pulley here. You can use this, you can pull it. That's kind of getting worn out though. That's supposed to catch it, but the weight of the trolling motor pulls it down. I added this cleat. This is when I'm in traveling mode. I'll have this all the way on this front cleat. If I just need to pull it up out of the water for time being, I'll just throw it on this one. That explains how I lift it and lower it. When you're traveling, I just added a carabiner. This held the rudder down before. It's just a bungee cable. We'll clip it up here. You have your regular rope holding it, but this as a backup in case it decides to fall. Go ahead and take this back off, and it just sits right down there. This is what I did with the steering. I took the extra little piece, how you used to steer before, off, because you would set these things exactly where you want them, and then you just use your toe to steer. Well, it didn't have enough play in it to steer this trolling motor, so I just popped those off. Say if you want to take the trolling motor off, that'll pop right back on. I greased up these rails. This line that comes through the kayak from factory, through this hole, and I tied the knots here. This is what would slide over and go in these holes. You can remove that, or you can just do what I did, tie a few knots. It can't push back in. Some guys remove this. All you have to do is basically push forward, trolling motor turns. This side will go back. So now watch this side. When I push the other side forward, that goes back. So if I want to turn left, I take my left foot and I push it. And then if I want to go straight, I even them out. Next up, I'm going to open up this and show you. This is the factory unit out of the head of the trolling motor. So I wanted to maintain the 5 forward speeds, the 3 reverse speeds. So I took this out, and lo and behold, with just a little bit of cutting away of some plastic, which doesn't affect the structure because this thing's rock solid, it fit perfectly inside of here. I drilled another hole up front because I need to drill a hole up front anyway, because I will eventually do the LED navigation strip mods on the front. That way I can just flip a switch, turn those on, instead of having to rely on battery powered ones. I have my deep cycle battery in the front. I'm a bigger guy, so I got a lot more weight on the back. I don't know how well that's going to work up there. If it won't fit up there, then it's going to go inside this recess, and I will put a different hatch on here. Until I get out to the water to test it, it's going up front. The cables go up through here, hook up to my switch, and then they go clear all the way back to the motor. This is all dry area, so it's protected. It's covered. I'll put this back down. The little battery I use for this goes inside here as well. I don't have a fancy switch. I just took this off an old heater that stopped working, that's going to the scrap. And so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and forward, back to 0, 3 in reverse. For right now, testing purposes, I just have these hooked up, some old jumper cables. All this is not final yet. This is kind of like the dry run. Then I'll have the wet run on the water, and then I'll finalize it. But we're gonna do this. If you can hear, the trolling motor is going. Just turn it up, full blast. Let's go in reverse. So that's pretty much the build. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I think I covered just about everything. If you want to see how this thing does on the water, stay tuned, because I'll have some more videos of this thing in full action. Beards and Bows out.